What's up, fam? Yo, this is Brother Tim, and I'm coming at you live and direct. Yes, live and direct this time. It is time for that Gye-Nyame journey, and we are on those tribal quotes. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I am your host and your servant, Brother Tim, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. My man Donald Trump is on a rampage. We got Dutch kids happier than everybody else. We got the United States children on a list of happiness are 26 out of 29, and we are only above 3 of the poorest countries in the world. I wonder why. We're going to look at it. We're going to explore it. But then also, we have to get into our quotes of the day. We are going to discuss the African openness to the tree of life, which is the key that will unlock this madness. Now, before we get into that, let me do this.
Donald Trump is a liar.
I am a Gye-Nyame man. I was born for greatness. My greatness comes from my potent sinner. I pledge to find and connect with my sinner. I pledge to build my spirit, mind, and body. I pledge to use my hands to build a better world for myself, my loved ones, and my community. I pledge to use my mind to think deeper, further, and higher to create a better reality for myself. I pledge to live my life and go beyond all my self-imposed limitations. I pledge to promote the principles of the Gye-Nyame warrior and to assist all those seeking the path of success. I pledge all these things first to myself, my teachers, to all my relations, and to my higher power. I am Gye-Nyame. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. That is the Gye-Nyame pledge that is said by all of our true members at least once a day. Peace and welcome to our YouTube channel. Check out our videos and podcasts. Subscribe as well as join the journey. Push past your self-imposed limitations within the Gye-Nyame journey. Peace. All right, we back up. Now, first off, I want to thank whoever out there is listening to the show and donated. Somebody, without allowing me to know who it is, gave some money to Gye-Nyame over YouTube. And I want to say thank you. One, because sometimes it's hard to do this, right? You know it's Ujima, right? It's Ujima, right? Collective worker responsibility. So now, what we need to do is I want to run through the news, and then I will open the lines up at 9:15. Feel free to call in. The number is, let me type it in for you, 614 556 4535. There we go. So I put it up on the timeline for anybody that may want to join. Once again, the number, I'm going to put it in the chat as well, just in case. Call in number. Hold on, lines are open at 9 p.m. or 9:15, my fault. Number is 614-556-4535. Let's kick it, y'all. All right, now, of course, I don't want to belabor the point and just constantly talk about our boy, Donald Trump. But it's incredible. All right, now he's going crazy. He's signing executive orders, right? Trump signs directive to start border wall with Mexico. Now, remember, he said that Mexico was going to pay for it. Mexico like, hell with you, man. We ain't paying for nothing, right? So, Let's see how he works this one out, right? So I won't even go into it and read that. But yo, what I do want to hit on my timeline is, now y'all know that I'm doing an Nguza Saba challenge, and I have to send shouts out to Brother Kwame, because Brother Kwame checked me today. I invited him to come speak next Friday. As a matter of fact, I got to call him back because I found out that the thing that's happening next Friday is actually happening this Friday. So I need to get him to see if he can come speak. But Brother Kwame called me and said, brother, what day is Rocket Roll Call on? I said, Friday. He said, I'm going to give you another chance, brother. I said, oh, you right. It happens on Nia. Part of the journey, part of the collective work and responsibility is holding each other responsible. And when I saw that brother who's paying attention to some of the stuff that I'm saying, remind me about what I was supposed to be doing, I felt a true sense of brotherhood. I felt that what I'm doing is not a waste of time. And then on top of that, he was calling me. I was speaking to him because he wanted to donate, or he wanted to give some money to the journey. Incredible. Some of the stuff that's just happening, right? Just the other night, I had to run out on Monday to take somebody some stuff because they gave to the Gye-Nyame journey. I felt it was Gye-Nyame journey responsibility to give back to them. So this means that we got ambrosia going all over, right now, because soon as people give, I give back. But I have my calendar up. We're working on a more extensive calendar. For those that want to support, there will be a calendar for you. I have a video up on YouTube. It's up on the Gye-Nyame Journey timeline to show you how to take and use the Nguza Saba Challenge. For those who don't necessarily want to do the Nguza Saba, we have the Millennium 7. We have the Laws of Maya. We have the African day names for males and females. We have the 7 Hermetic laws. We have the 7 colors. What I'm saying is, take control of the days, right? Because one of the things that is holding us in bondage, if you want to consider us in bondage, one of the things that's holding us in bondage is the symbols. And we have to start taking control of the symbols in our life. Without a shadow of a doubt. We have to take them. Shouts out to Butcher Samuel Tay. He said, I've seen you at one junior high school off Refugee Road, Columbus, Ohio. You helped me with my kids' bus schedule. Yes, sir. That's me. Now, man, I ain't going to be able to cuss because one of the parents is on. Oh, man, damn. All right, but listen. Now, the issue is, right, taking control of our minds. Because even if there's an influx of money in the black community, right, even if there's an influx of money into where we live, if our minds are not right, we will immediately spend it all. Now, today is Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility. So today, I was looking for examples of collective work and responsibility. The brother who I was speaking to on the phone I just described was one example. But I got other examples. I had to leave the school today, and 3 people stepped up in a collective sense to look out for their tribe member. We have to start developing tribes. We have to start developing family so that we can start doing more, right? So that we can really get out here and start changing the world, okay? So on the timeline, one of the steps that I have for you is taking the Nguza Saba challenge. It's deeper than just you grabbing onto the principles I'm talking about. I'm talking about you using principles every day. So now, I need to send shouts out to one of my sponsors. Excuse me, ladies. Now it's time for y'all to be in bed. I don't appreciate y'all get back up. Now, let me make sure Spreaker's on. Yeah, okay, cool. Spreaker's on. All right. Now, I ain't going to ask you to be quiet again. I promise. All right. So now, here we go. I'm about to go on and open up the ambrosia. For those that don't know, ambrosia is a kombucha made from green tea and honey. It is a probiotic It also, this one right here is the black top. Y'all see? It's the black top. And the black top is a mixture of that ambrosia, green tea and honey, and dandelion root and burdock root. Could you please silence her, please? All right, so here we go. Let's see how. Ooh, y'all, see that? It's alive, y'all. It's alive. Now, this right here is one of, I call it that ambrosia because I call it the food of the gods. Why? Because I honestly believe that after watching this stuff ferment and looking at the process, I honestly believe that this is a living food. I honestly believe that this is a shot of immortality because you are taking on millions of active, healthy bacteria and yeast into your system that your body can digest. You are also taking in polyphenols, which directly feed the bacteria in your gut, which 70% of your immune system is in your gut, whether you know it or not. And all these things need to be fed. Now, if you're not feeding the positive ones, you're feeding the negative ones. So I'm going to open this ambrosia so we can go and get this show started. Now, I tell y'all that it's alive. I'm not playing. Look at that. It's alive. So when you open it, you got to have a cup. Right? What's up, Mr. Jimmy McGee? Thank you for tuning in. All right. So now let's move on down the timeline while the ambrosia flows. All right. So now we have a Columbus teacher who was surprised with the National Teaching Award. Let's go on and read that. That's some good news. Once in a while we like to cover. I'm glad there's some good news, especially coming from Columbus. A third grade math and science teacher at Columbus City Schools, Wyland Park Elementary School, left work Tuesday with $25,000 richer after winning a National Education Award. Miss Tiffany Tynes Curry, 38, said she was stunned to learn during a surprise announcement in front of hundreds of elementary students that she had won a Milken Educator Award after having been selected from among candidates provided to the Milken Family Foundation by the Ohio Department of Education. So we want to send Miss Curry our congratulations. And thank you for working with our babies because we know it's not easy. We know it's not easy. So we celebrate her. And I'm about to drink some of this ambrosia. I hope if you got it, go on and sip some with me as we move on down this timeline and get into these folk tales. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. I make that, right? I'm the plug. You want that? Donate to Gye-Nyame Journey. You know what I'm saying? Help us raise money so that we can go and continue doing the work that we do. We do rites of passage. And I just want y'all to understand it ain't just for kids. No. Because some of you grown folks, y'all need some help too. Congrats to the teacher. Now let's move on. We got to salute those teachers. Also on the timeline, one of the things I want to look at. WikiHow apologized for illustrating Obama, Beyonce, and Jay-Z as white people. I got to take a drink on that one. Where's my lightning? Where's my lightning? Y'all need to be... They need to be struck down for that. You know what I'm saying? We can't even have Jay-Z. In 50 years, Jay-Z will be a white boy. I'm just trying to let y'all know, right? You know, that's how they play it, right? Now, let's keep it moving. Go to bed. Good night. All right. I'm going to say that one. For those that don't know, the stock market broke a record. Here, take a sip and go to bed.
Me too.
The stock market broke a record. The Dow Jones was over 20,000 today. Now, and I know a lot of people are celebrating like Donald Trump is really doing it. Y'all need to study history. The Roaring Twenties was called the Roaring Twenties for a reason, right? It was ruined all the way up until about 1929, right? Oh my God, my brother Ernie is on here. Oh my God. What's up, Ern? Now, it was called the Roaring 20s all the way up until 1929, right? There was roaring, and it was full of Republicans. Now we got this Republican. We just had this Democrat, or somewhat Democrat, leave out of office, right? I say somewhat Democrat because, I honestly believe that he should have let those banks crash. And I know a lot of y'all like, nah, he shouldn't have did that. It was too big to fail. Then what is capitalism? I thought capitalism was about that, right? You know what I'm saying? Let the ones that can make it, and the ones that can't die, because, none of our businesses was bailed out. You know what I'm saying? They ain't bailing none of our businesses out. But y'all don't know about that. Most of y'all just looking for jobs. Y'all ain't looking for business. All right, now, on. So, the stock market is roaring, right? It's breaking records, right? And I want y'all to understand, right? This is smokescreen. See, because I'm following Trump closely because I want y'all to see what's happening because the confidence is being boosted. He's closing off the borders. He's renegotiating trade deals. He's talking about building these walls. He's talking about correcting this infrastructure and doing all this work. But the question is, where's the money going to come from? Where the jobs going to come from? I'm going to harp on this for a long time because I don't want y'all to get caught up in illusions. Now, because I want us to learn the lessons, but I don't want us to get suckered, right? Just because the stock market is booming, because the stock market was booming before the crash. When the crashes come, nobody really ever expect them, right? Y'all need to be aware of this type of stuff. We need to be aware of this type of stuff. We need to get prepared. We need to get our minds right, right? I talked to y'all about that earlier, right? So we're going to toast the stock market. Congratulations, you went over 20,000. But what does that really mean for somebody who don't have no stock? What does that really mean for somebody struggling to pay their rent, right? What does that mean for somebody who's waiting for a manufacturing job that went the way of the dodo? Manufacturing is not coming back. I don't care how confident he sounds. See, because first off, you're not going to have Americans going to factories for $5 an hour. Unless we can get people to go to work for $5 an hour, we're not going to be able to compete on an international stage as far as manufacturing. We have to accept the role that we have in America and start expanding on that. And black folks, that's where we come in because we are the most resilient, we are the most creative, and we need to be coming up with creative businesses. Stop looking for jobs and start looking for creating opportunities. We need to start looking for creative opportunities to step up. All right, now I want to cover this, and then I'm going to start on these proverbs. Anybody want to join the conversation, hit me up at 614-556-4535. Let me make sure there's nothing else I want to cover. Join me in the morning because I do my daily toast. I don't see that on the timeline. I don't know what's going on with that. I got to see what's going on with that because that should have posted. Well, anyway, I do my daily toast every morning. You can look for it so that you can toast the day with me, right? And I go through and I look at the principle of the day and I come up with something every morning for you so that we can keep on building. We need to build, right? We got to get this right, man. I mean, because history is cool. Don't get me wrong. I have respect for historians, right? I have respect for historians. Right? But I don't need to know the what. I want to know the how. I don't even give a damn about the why in most cases. I just need to know the how. How did Marcus Garvey do it? How did Martin Luther King do it? How did Ramesses do it? How did Imhotep do it? You know what I'm saying? I need the hows, right? So historians don't really get into the hows. They get into the what happened. And then we start arguing about the what happens. We don't need to be arguing about the what happens. We need to be arguing about the how it happened, right? We in the phase in time where we need the hows, right? Now, what I'm doing is I'm going through these folk tales, I'm going through these proverbs because I honestly believe that our ancestors communicate with us through these stories and through these wise sayings so that we can start getting a how. Because we got to get our mind aligned. Once we get our mind aligned and we get our body straight, we get our intuition working, we get our emotions straight, we get our spirituality together, we're going to be able to change the world. Y'all need to understand that the world is waiting for us. See, this is why I keep on saying black folks, because anybody could listen, anybody could benefit from the stuff that I'm doing, but I have to talk to my tribe because the world is waiting for us. Once we start rising, because you know they say that, I keep on saying this, that a rising tide lifts all boats. Y'all need to understand, black folk, in America, that you are the tide. We're the water. All the boats is waiting for us to start rising. Because once we start rising up, we naturally going to take care of everybody else. That's in our nature. That's what we do. That's what we do. Right? But hey, I guess we figure we got time, right? I'm getting older. I ain't got time. I can't be waiting around. All right, let's look at this thing about children, and then we're going to get into the folk tales. I don't believe I ain't post my own stuff. All right, every morning I do something called The Morning Toast on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and most importantly, share. Those of you that's on the timeline, share. Like it and share. Like it and share. The more you like it, the more people see it. The more you share it, you know what I'm saying? The bigger the circle become. I got a goal. I'm trying to get about 100,000 people up on this thing, right? Those that want to call in, 614-556-4535. Now, why are Dutch kids so much happier than American kids? On a list of happy children, topped by Netherlands, the U.S. came in 26th of 29 countries. I want y'all to check that out. We the richest country in the world. On a list of 29 countries and children, we came in 26th. I thought America first. Thought America was first. That's what he's saying. Keep America first in everything, except child rearing and social justice. You know what I'm saying? We want to be first in production. We don't want to be first in health. Hell with all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? We just want to be number one. Children in the Netherlands are the happiest kids in the whole wide world. According to UNICEF, whereas U.S. kids ranked at number 26 on the list of 29 countries, beating only Lithuania, Latvia, and Romanian children, those countries are also the three poorest on the UNICEF list. That's its own problem. But why are the children in the Netherlands so much happier? It's all down to lifestyle and parenting, say a UK and US mother, both of whom are married to Dutchmen and live in Holland. Writing in the Telegraph, oh my fault, I'm reading from, dang, they don't have what the site is. Fast Coexist. Writing in Telegraph, Rena Mae Acosta, Michelle Hutchison lists the difference between life for Dutch children and life for kids from their home countries. The differences are startling but obvious in how they benefit the kids. Now listen. First off, school isn't a big deal. Kids don't have homework. They don't take endless tests and don't actually start learning to read or do arithmetic until they are 6 years old. The first few years of school are spent just being kids. If children do show an interest in math or reading, though they are given materials and allowed to explore by themselves. In the Netherlands, write Acosta and Hutchison, children like going to school. Dutch children are among the least likely to feel pressure by schoolwork and scored highly in terms of finding their classmates friendly and helpful. Outside of school, parents are also less demanding, both of themselves and of their kids, because they are more forgiving of their own imperfection and shortfalls. They're able to enjoy parenthood, say Acosta and Hutchison. This means that kids are also free of pressure forced upon them by competitive American parents, and are therefore much happier. Dutch kids are also more independent. Dutch moms don't do their children things they are capable of doing themselves. And this lets parents spend more time by themselves, which again makes everyone more relaxed. Parents also split child rearing responsibility, with fathers taking an equal role. You'll just as likely see a dad pushing a pram or wearing a baby carrier as mom, says the authors. Discipline is another area where things are different. Kids aren't punished, they are taught socially appropriate behaviors. But kids aren't expected to be mindless, obedient to adults. This makes them act more like grown-ups. In fact, says Acosta and Hutchinson, kids are treated this way are less likely to be willfully disobedient. Even so, they will stand up for themselves, arguing their point of view if they feel like it. That seems to be a great way to produce happy and balanced adults too. Another big difference is that kids are allowed to go outside and get on with things. They bike to school in the rain. They play outside unsupervised, learning independence and not to be cowed by bad weather. There's more. Go and read the whole article. We're not going to read the whole article, but they're laying it out, right? So in the society, kids are treated a lot different than they are here. Competition is not stressed. But yet, on the world standard tests, these kids are blowing the test out the water. They don't start reading and writing until they're 6 and 7 years old. Right? They learn how to be children first. They enjoy going to school. Right? It's a whole different mind state. Right? And this is some stuff that we can start grabbing for our community and as well as some of our schools. No, my fault. We can't do it because we got to get ready for the damn test. Man. All right. I tried. All right, so now let's get into these proverbs. We are, once again, coming from the African Opens to the Tree of Life, compiled by E. Peter Scribe, Life-Giving Principles. Life-Giving Principles. We are on page 39, chapter 6, and it's called Establishing Life Through Life Rhythms. The lines are open for anybody that would like to join, 614-556-4535. Each phase unattended jeopardizes another phase, said the knowledge holders. That's number one. Number two, consciousness itself is preparation, said the knowledge holders. That's number two. Say the knowledge holders, consciousness is potency. That's number three. We're going to stop there today. I need to mark where we are. I'll find my pen and mark it. Maybe I got a pencil. Nope, my kid broke it. I couldn't survive in the Netherlands. Couldn't survive. Here we go. All right. So let me mark where we stop. So this is for next week's show. We did this for 125:17. Now, since nobody calling in, I'm going to run through these real quick. What's up, Brother Tariq? If you want to call in and comment on the show, 614-556-4535. I just read the Proverbs. I'm going to start with number 2. The second proverb says, consciousness itself is preparation. All right. So now, first off, those that's just now catching, that's just checking us out, we've been going through this whole book, and all these proverbs start lining up, right? We done been through 5 previous chapters. This chapter right here, once again, is called Establishing Life Through Life's Rhythm. Oh, man, don't worry about it. I still owe you a bottle, man. I got 1 bottle of Death Eater left. It's yours, man. We got to hook up. You better hook up before I drink it, right? I'm just trying to let you know. You want some of this ambrosia, you better get with your brother, right? Consciousness itself is preparation. Oh, by the way, Tariq, happy Ujima Day, my man. Consciousness itself is preparation. Now, What is consciousness? Consciousness is being awake. Consciousness, being awake, right? It says consciousness itself is preparation, right? By us truly awakening in life, by us doing that, we are truly prepared. We are truly preparing ourselves. We're preparing ourselves for what? Life. Most of us are sleepwalking through life. Most of us are zombified in life. Consciousness is preparation. By you being awake, right? By you being conscious of what's going on around you, you are prepared for anything that could come your way, right? You have access, because now, when I talk about, listen, I'm not just talking about your eyes being open. See, because a lot of people is running around here with their eyes open. A lot of people are running around here with a lot of information. A lot of people are running around here being able to quote this and quote that, but they're not awake. See, consciousness is deeper than just surface knowledge, and that's what most of us got. We got surface knowledge because in the society we've been taught to be jack of many things. We've been taught that we need to learn a little bit of everything rather than being focused like our ancestors and becoming masters. Right? Right? We're not masters. When you start working on mastery, you learn how to wake up. What do I mean? Because in order to become a master at something, you have to pour true libations. And what are true libations, Brother Hatim? I go through this with you all the time. Water is cool. Water is a sacrifice. Yes, it is. But nowadays, and really even in the past, true libations, those things that you pour to your creator and your ancestors, are not just liquids that we go out and get, because at one time it was hard for us to get water, so for us to pour water was a sacrifice. Now we go to the tap, we can turn it on. That's not a sacrifice, right? You know, liquor, at one point in time, liquor was a good libation. That's why they call it spirits. But the ultimate libations come from you, right? And what do I mean ultimate libations? The first one, once again, I'm going to run through it. The first one is that sweat. Right? When you are working on mastery, at some points in time when you are involved in something, you start to sweat. You get so focused that you start to sweat. You ever been so involved in something, not just something physical, but something mental, where you would get so involved that you would start sweating. And you'd be like, damn, oh man, it's hot. You know what I'm saying? That's you waking up. Right? That's all the chakras in your body lining up. That's your body heating up because it's doing something that it's supposed to be doing, and you're focused. And because you have a laser-like focus, your body is building heat up like a generator. You start to sweat. That's a libation. And that sweat drips down, and when it hits the earth, that's a blessing for you. The next libation, right, which is a little bit rarer, is tears. Tears. Have you ever been so involved with something that you started shedding tears? Have you ever tried to master something to where when you ran into a problem, you couldn't get it, but you didn't want to stop, and you would start crying about it? Mastery. That's love. That's that second highest libation. The highest libation is your blood. People talk about blood sacrifices, so they go out and they kill chickens and stuff. But let's talk about the real blood sacrifice. The real blood sacrifice is when you strive for mastery and you might get injured, or you might hurt yourself in some form of fashion, or you might be doing something so hard and being so focused that you start bleeding. Right? You know, they say in the Bible that Jesus prayed so hard that he started sweating blood. That's a libation. When you out in your garden and you out working on the car and you working towards your mastery, you out wrestling, you out playing football, you out playing basketball, you studying for a test, and something happens and you start to bleed, that's a libation because you're so focused. You don't listen. So when we start mastering, we start waking up and we start seeing the world differently, because masters see the world differently than novice. You see the world differently.
Because you have no choice. Why? Because you have invested your blood, sweat, and tears into something. And now you can see the world through that small lens that you've been grinding out with your work, that you've been hustling out. You know what I'm saying? You done ground out a lens so that now you can see through the illusions of the world. So consciousness is preparation. Why? Because in order to get to consciousness, you have to work, which most of us avoid. We want to be told what to do. We don't want to learn what to do. We don't want to pressure and push ourselves to what we want to do, right? Black folks, we are in a position right now where we got to pour those libations. And I ain't even talking about, we ain't got to negotiate with the great pumpkin. We ain't got to negotiate with Congress. We ain't got to negotiate with the legislator. If we want to change it, our ancestors are waiting for us. They're waiting for us. We have not acted as a group. We have not used our ujima, our collective work, our collective community to ask for what we want, to demand what we want from our ancestors first, from the Creator first. All we got to do, knock and the door shall be open. We're not knocking. We're walking away. We're walking around the back. We open it. We hoping somebody else open the door. But when you become a master and you get that focus and that consciousness, you start looking at the world differently. Y'all hear what I'm saying? And when you start looking at the world differently, right, you start seeing the very same laws that you was working on mastering, whether it's in mathematics or physics or fighting, martial arts, or working out and preparing your body for a long run, or preparing your body for competition, or preparing your mind for what it is, or preparing your spirit. You start seeing that those laws that you apply to preparation are also the same laws that run the universe. I hope y'all hear me. Consciousness is preparation. Because when you awake, those that are asleep, even if they try to attack you, have no chance of winning. The only reason black folks are struggling right now is because we sleep. Everybody's fearing the giant waking up. That's why I'm so thankful that this dude, this great pumpkin, is in office, because I hope that it shake y'all up, right? Y'all got to understand, man, that because this, we already been through this. I mentioned the Roaring 20s for a reason. We already been through this, right? Because what y'all got to realize about the Roaring 20s, roaring was fun. For them, it meant fun. For us, it was hell. I want y'all to get that one. For them, it was roaring as far as fun. For us, it was roaring and beastly, right? We was struggling. Jim Crow was in full effect. We was struggling. We was fighting. We was fighting against the guy. You know what I'm saying? We was fighting against the beast that was roaring. They was riding it. We was fighting it. Lynchings were at their highest rate in the 20s. And I need you to understand, why am I talking about that? Because this is the same shit that we moving into right now. What you think gonna happen when the manufacturing jobs don't appear magically like the great pumpkin is saying they are? What's gonna happen when he can't build the wall? When he can't build the wall and when he can't do the infrastructure like he said, he's going to need a scapegoat. History tells you who has been a scapegoat in America. Yeah, they might start with some of the smaller groups, but it always end up with us catching the hell. I need y'all to understand. I need y'all to wake up. Consciousness is preparation. And if we are asleep, we will suffer. But if we are conscious and if we are awake, once we are awake, once we are conscious and we're looking at it through the lens of mastery, right? They can't touch us. They can't touch you. You are untouchable. You are unstoppable. You are an incredible force when you are awake. Those of you that have kids, right? You know what I'm saying? Basically what's going on in America is that we are the adults and we are asleep. And our kids are slapping us while we sleep. I know some of us have been through this before. Our children is trying to, you know what I'm saying? Your children can beat the hell out of you while you sleep, but let them try when you awake. It don't happen. Wake up. Wake up. Seek your mastery. You was put here for a reason. I need y'all to understand this. I tell my kids this. I don't look at family trees. I look at family pyramids. I got to always go through my stuff over again. I build pyramids. My family is a family pyramid. I am at the apex of that pyramid. This means that 20 generations, we're all in the right place at the right time to make sure that I am right here doing what I'm doing right now. I'm seeking mastery. I got a question for you. What are you seeking to master? You are the highest evolution of your family unless you got children. Your children are going to copy what you're doing, and they will become the highest manifestation of your family. They are that's the highest point of evolution of your family, the highest point of growth. And what are you doing to show that? I hope not sitting at a desk that you hate. I hope not working for somebody that you dislike. You are the culmination of the dream of over 20 generations. And when you do the math on that, that's over 1 million people. This is how important you are to the universe. You are so important to the universe. God schemed, your creator, by whatever name you choose to call him, schemed to have you created. That means that over 1 million people, if you just go back 20 generations and we give each generation 20 years, that's over 400 years. Millions of people, 1 million people came together to intermingle at the right time, at the right place to create you. What are you doing to demonstrate your worthiness of all the effort? Consciousness is preparation. Our ancestors talk about us. See, because as an individual, because America, they hit you with this rugged individual shit. Rockefeller wasn't an individual. J.P. Morgan wasn't an individual. Ford wasn't an individual. No, those are the names we know. But what about their teams, dog? See, they want to hit you with this rugged individualism because they know that as an individual, you have very little impact on their systematic oppression. You have very little impact. That's why our ancestors always ruled as tribes. We always ruled as groups because there's power in the group. And a group that's awake is even more powerful. See, if a group is powerful, sleep, a group that is awake is like unbelievable. Unbelievable. Right? So consciousness, as our ancestors say, is preparation. Because the work that goes into you becoming conscious takes you through the process of being ready. And when you are awake, your enemies can't take advantage of you. All things line up for you because you are awake, even when they don't even look like they're going in your direction. All right, let's move on. All right, I'm going to do number 1, and then we're going to get number 3, then I'm going to get out of here because I don't want to hold y'all up. Each phase unattended jeopardizes another phase. All right, now, life happens in stages. Better yet, life happens in phases. When we jump over phases, when we try to skip through phases, when we take shortcuts on phases, we jeopardize the next phase. Right? Like they say, there's no shortcuts to success. There's no shortcuts to freedom. There's no shortcuts to prosperity. There's no shortcuts. Right? Because every phase that you don't cover, you're going to have to go back and redo it, because each phase is like our ancestors left the symbols for us. It's like a pyramid, right? What happened if you build your pyramid all the way up, but row 3 is weak? What happens to the pyramid? It crumbles. This is why we make sure that each individual handle each phase. Right? We want to rush through the phases. We want to rush through them. We want to get them done, and we're not getting the lessons. It's sort of like us being a team that's practicing, but we're not getting the lessons of practice. We're getting the physical workout, but we're not getting the lessons of the practice. So when the game comes, we can't react properly because we wasn't paying attention at practice. We was just trying to get through it. Pay attention to the messages that is coming to you from your ancestors. Pay attention to it, right? Because each phase, unattended, jeopardizes the next phase. You can't grow if you don't know. You got to know what happened in that step so that you can move on, because at every phase there is an initiation where you are tested. Man, and the test ain't no joke. And at each phase, there's a symbolic death for us. We symbolically pass away. Right? Like I tell y'all, don't just share. I need you to share. I need to share. I need to share. Share it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Now, listen, because I'm telling you, man, this book right here is a life changer. I'm telling everybody to get it. I don't got no financial, not yet, because I want to buy this. I want to own the copyright to. I want this book. I want to, you know what I'm saying? This book right here is a life changer, because you got to sit down and really think about it. And no matter how many times you go through it, you always going to get something else out of it. Right? I went through phases in this book, and I messed up on those phases, and I had to come back and stumble on the book again and again. This book consistently comes back in my life, so I had to make a way so that I could make sure that it stayed in my life. So what I do now is, this is part of the training for those individuals that's coming through the journey, at least the adults, because children can't get this. I need y'all to understand, when I'm working on what I'm building, the kids can benefit, but it's not really for them. I figured out a long time ago that my brothers and sisters, my peers, we need rites of passage. We need self-mastery. We need the work. We need to build these tribes, man. Because we don't, listen, like I said, man, I'm not a doomsayer. I'm not on that, right? But I have been taught by some very wise people. You know what I'm saying? And Dr. John Henry Clark says, history is the best predictor of the future. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell my kids, ain't nothing changed but the technology and the styles of clothes we wear. The same shit is still going on. It's just dressed differently, and it has more advanced equipment. It's still the same. Go check out the streets. You know what I'm saying? Different bullshit. Same game. Same. Right? So our ancestors' wisdom is still valid. You know what I'm saying? You might need to change a word here or there, but life is life, and life has been life, and there's been people that went through it, so we might as well learn from it. Right? All right, last one. Then I'm going to let y'all out of here. Say the knowledge holders, consciousness is potency. I just got done telling y'all, in the very first one, the first one we went through, it said consciousness itself is preparation. Then, brother Erskine Peters bring back and says, consciousness is potency. What's potency, Brother Hatim? What does it mean when they say a man is potent? He's fertile. Powerful. Right? He didn't just say that consciousness is powerful. See, because that evokes something else. That just evokes the idea of being able to move things. Potency evokes the thought of being able to create. Consciousness is potency, power, and the ability to create. Family, y'all hear me? Consciousness. Not this shit that they be arguing about on YouTube, where we talking about pyramids and shit. Just us being awake and being aware. Us knowing and aligning our intuition, our emotions, our mental, our spiritual, and our physical, man. That right there is potency. What is that? Potent? It's able not only to change things, but it's able to infect things. It's able to put the spark of life into other things. When you wake, when you are potent, they used to call some kings potentate, right? The holder of the power, the potentate, right? And in some traditions, because I want y'all to check this out, in some traditions, the king's virility, the king's potency was connected to the land. So when the king started wasting away, they used to kill his ass and put somebody else in his place that was potent, because the king represented the land. And when the king started getting weak, either he needed to step down and be removed, or they would sacrifice him and put somebody else in his place. That's why they call him the potentate, because his state infected the land and infected the people. This is why it is rare for a world leader to go in front of people hurt, with a cold, with anything out of place. This is why they played up the whole issue when Hillary Clinton stumbled at that vehicle and it looked like somebody had to put her in, and they start talking about her health. Look at her. She can't even stand up. Leaders are supposed to be potent. Why? Because leaders inspire. Because the confidence that the leader carries is the confidence that infects the people. It's the confidence that's supposed to infect the stock market. Even if it's a fake bravado. Like, you know. But when you become conscious, you become a potentate, a carrier of the power, a spreader of the power, a wielder of power. And you are able to, with your potency, impregnate others with consciousness. Not because you're able to speak good, but because they're able to see its effect on you. Y'all feel me? Right? See, dude, oh man. Listen, it's Gye-Nyame Day, right? And this lines right up with a dream. It is incredible. Collective work and responsibility. One of our responsibilities is becoming conscious. It's waking up. Black folks, we've been sleeping too long, man. Our ancestors are waiting for us. Waiting for us. Just get the word. Marcus Garvey said, when I die, let me come back as a whirlwind with the millions and millions of African ancestors to be an aid to us. Your grandmother want better for you. Your great-grandmother, they want better for us. And they're waiting for us. This brings up a dream that I always bring up, man. It ain't even a dream, right? I'm sitting in the tub meditating, and this vision come to me. Ancestor step up and says, we're starving. What you mean? We're starving. Who are you? I'm an ancestor. We're starving. Why aren't y'all feeding us? So we pour libations. He said, well, libations is far and in between. Even if you pour every day, you couldn't feed us. So ancestor basically asked me, where is the ancestor worship capital of the world? And I know I told y'all this a million times, and I'm going to tell you a million more. So in my mind, I said, where? Africa? No. China? No. Brazil? No. Ancestors showed me a vision of Washington, D.C. He said their ancestors see good. They erect monuments to their ancestors. And people from all over the world come and just freely give up their energy to their ancestors. While we, your ancestors, sit here and suffer and die. Where are our monuments? Do y'all know what a monument is? A monument is a memory provoker. A monument is a ritual site where ancestors are able to gather and feed off the energy of people who are paying homage to them by coming to the monument. Do y'all understand? See, no, maybe, is that too spooky for some of y'all? We got our ancestors starving, right? We ain't even built no houses for them, right? Because I want y'all to think about how deep this shit is, right? You go to Ohio State. How many of those buildings are named Giraffe Building? How many of those buildings are named the Leopard Center? How many of those, what are those buildings named after? Those buildings are named after people's ancestors. You go to Washington, D.C., you got the Washington Monument. You got the Jefferson Monument. You know what I'm saying? Our ancestors is looking at that, and they're being blocked out while the ancestors of our enemies, who we don't believe are actually involved in ancestor worship, but they are more involved in ancestor worship than any other group in the world. Europeans will set up a holiday in a hot second for one of their ancestors. They'll build a building in a heartbeat, and every time you go into that building, you are paying homage to their ancestors. Their ancestors are eating while yours are starving. Our ancestors are starving. They got to eat off of our little monuments that we may have in our houses. You know what I'm saying? But what about the buildings? I know Facebook gonna try to cut me off. I see, because the fact of the matter is this, yo. Listen, we are sending our spiritual and our mental energies in the wrong direction. We're sending praise and worship in the wrong direction. And I know that's going to offend some of y'all, and I'm not going to go deeper on that because some of y'all, we're not ready for it, right? Right? You know, rather than arguing, we could put some money together and build maybe a shack. We could start with a shack on a piece of land that we own that we just dedicate to our ancestors, and we make that land sacred. And we go there and we pour libations on a weekly basis. Right? And then as more people start coming, we'll build that up. Right? Do you not understand, until we start paying the proper homage to the past, we will never, ever move forward? Because it's the energy of the past that propels us forward. And because we feel like losers, because we feel like the descendants of slaves, right? We can't move forward. We can't move forward. Hell, what about some of our businesses? Why our businesses not named after ancestors? We got little clever names for them and shit. You know what I'm saying? We come up with clever names. Right? Many of us don't even know our own family line. Talking about collective work and responsibility, part of our collective work is resurrecting that ancestral energy so it can start working in our lives. Many of us are going on these job sites and we're being attacked, right? Because other people have their ancestors coming in bombarding you. Where's your ancestors? Our ancestors are powerless because we have committed them to hell. Do y'all not know that hell for an African person is not brimstone and fire? It is being forgotten. Do we not know this? Do we not know this? But that's childish, right? Right? Okay. if I'm correct, the Bible that you study, the God of the Old Testament saved the people for David's sake. David was dead. David was an ancestor. God interceded for Israel for a long time for David's sake. And I'm crazy about it. I'm crazy, right? Right? I don't know, right? See, we have an untapped resource. We are not allowing our ancestors, see, because that's part of the collective, yo. It goes, listen, it goes ancestor, elder, nation maintainer, I just added that, nation builder, warrior, right? Then we have children, back to ancestor. And that cycle continues on and on and on and on. But two important parts of our life cycle we don't pay attention to. We don't pay attention to the elders. Now we're turning them over to the enemy, just like we turn the children over to the enemy, and our ancestors. Right? So we wondering why shit ain't working right in our community. Our ancestors have been totally stripped out. Right? Our elders are being housed when they should be actually the ones working with the children. My fault. We got a lot of elders. We got a lot of olders, right? But there's enough elders for us to really start building, man. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get off on that. But as they say, consciousness is potency, right? When you become conscious, you have the ability to impregnate. You have the ability to create. Y'all don't understand that. That's potency. It's different than just power. It's a little bit more. It's a lot more, right? Our ancestors tell us that once we wake up, this nightmare dissolves. You know, when you're having a nightmare and all of a sudden something just naturally tells you to wake up, you pop up. That's what needs to happen with us right now. Pop up. Get up. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. Damn. I mean, listen. And I'm like this, man. Look at what he doing. Look at what the Great Pumpkin doing, y'all. He drawing the battle lines. Right? He drawing the battle lines. He letting the world know where America borders is, what America's going to do, what America's not going to do. What I keep telling y'all is we have to do the same. We have to draw our borders. In each city where we are, we need to draw our borders. And we need to let people know if you're going to do business in here, it's a tax. Right? And then people are going to be like, oh, that's illegal. That's extortion. No, that's called taxation, motherfucker. That's what that's called. That's called taxation. You want to do business in America, you pay taxes. You want to do business in Ohio, you pay taxes. You know what I'm saying? It should be if you want to do business in the short north, you're going to pay taxes. You want to do business on the east side, you pay taxes. Right? You know what I'm saying? Whether you pay directly or you give into some community organ, there should be no businesses in our communities that's able to just operate. Collective worker responsibility. And we're moving into Ujima now. We're moving into Ujima now. So y'all need to understand, man, by looking at these principles, man, it forces you to look at the world in a totally different way, man. My eyes, it's just like, damn, I'm just seeing so much, man. There's just so much that we just letting slide. Some of us are so mad at Donald Trump that we can't even look at the lessons that he's teaching us. Donald Trump is saying, America first. Look at how he does it. America first. In his speech, his inauguration speech, he made America sound like a third world country. He made America sound like a abused wife that has been abused by all these men in the world. And he said, now it's about us. We need to do the exact same shit. But I'm done. This brother Tim, I want to thank everybody, all 5 of y'all, for tuning in. Hey man, I love it. I don't even care. And once again, whoever that person is, that dropped that $10 on their YouTube page, man. I guess it's anonymous, but I'm in love with that, right? Thank you for supporting the work. Thank you for supporting the journey, right? I want to send shots out. Miss Stephanie on the line. Brother Tariq is on the line. Real Fake Media is on the line. That boom, 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 boom. Victoria is on the line. Brother Larry is on the line. My birth brother Ernie Gardner was on the line. I don't know if he's still watching. Brother Jimmy McGee was on the line. Brother Butcherson Samuel Tay was on the line as well. So this is Brother Hatim. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I am out.
Mr. Deity.